Suit up, strap in, warm the tires, and leave on yellow. Time for the MitsuTimes podcast, presented by MitsuTimes.org, the home of the fastest Mitsubishi cars. With your host, Josh.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the MitsuTimes podcast. Today, my guest comes to us from all the way across the world, Mr. Jman. Jeremy, how are you, sir?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I am great. Your EVIL63 car is just one of the coolest things because obviously we don't get to see a lot of them here in the States, and then not only is it cool and rare, but you're also going really fast with it. I mean, to see an 8-second car that's also, you put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it, so I love to see it.
Cheers. Thanks, man.
So tell me a little bit about the car, because to me it looks like an Evo 2, but you say it's a GSR Lancer. What exactly is it here?
Yeah, so in Australia, it's we have this car called just a CC GSR Lancer, and what it is, it's pretty much like an Evo. It's just got it comes with factory of a 1.8 liter 4G93 turbo, and it's got all the all-wheel drive stuff like an Evo. But Evo has more bracing, and there's heaps of things that distinguish an Evo from a GSR.
Okay.
But you could call a GSR a poor man's Evo if you can't afford the Evo. You start off on the GSR, really. That's what you call it, like a fake Evo. And a lot of us, we just put Evo body kits and stuff because they're all interchangeable. Put the body kits on, and it looks just like an Evo.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Poor man's
It was all
Evo.
I could afford at the time. So
Yeah. You're working with what you got. I love that.
for sure.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the setup? Your GSR, you have the license plate and you call it the EVIL63. Tell us about the setup on it.
Yep. So the setup on it now, it's obviously 63 4G63. It's always, when I bought the car, it was the person that I bought it off, he had already done the 2-liter swap. So that's a common thing to do, to take the 1.8 out and put a 2-liter in there. When I got it, already had a 2-liter swap. It already had the 6-bolt motor, the VR4 motor.
Okay.
Yeah, it already had the 6-bolt motor, and it had just everything was factory. Even had a VR4 loom, running on VR4 loom. But in its current trim, it's just got a built 2-liter alloy rod with a smart turbo 7880, link ECU, and yeah, fucking too many mods. What do you want me to list?
and runs high 8s at 150 mile an hour. I mean, it's definitely quite the machine.
It's getting there. Yeah, on the setup, when it ran the high 8, that's when I had the 6870, and it made about 800 to the wheels.
Okay.
Now it's making a bit more power, but because the car's not teched and not cage, I can't really go to the track and do times.
Okay, I understand. So, what is it that drew you to this car? What is it that made you want one in the first place?
Oh, back in the day, because I'm from New Zealand, and back in New Zealand, the fucking Jap scene is crazy. They got early Evos. It's like just JDM cars everywhere. And growing up, my uncle, he had an Evo 1, and he had an Evo 4 and a Libera. And obviously, when you've got relatives that has cars like this, you just get drawn to it.
Right.
And that's why I liked. I just like the early Evos because my uncle had one, and I just thought it was the coolest car ever.
Now, is this the first one you've had?
I had another GSR before this, and I'd crashed it. It was just a stock 1.8 liter, and I was young. I didn't know what I was doing, and I just took my cousin out for a rip, and I tried to show him a launch, and next thing you know, we ended up in a ditch. So,
so you told us a little bit about this car already. You got it and already had the 2.0 swap, had the VR4 wiring loom. Was there anything else that had been done to this car when you first got it?
Other than the 2-liter swap, it had the EVO3 fiberglass. It had an EVO3 fiberglass kit on it, and other than that, it's fairly tame. It had the 14B turbo,
okay,
and at the time, 7 psi was low boost, and I think 10 psi was high boost, which to me I thought it was crazy fast.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the 14B is definitely, even though it's a small turbo, it packs quite a punch.
Yeah, for sure. And then I've been through heaps of turbos since then.
When you first got your hands on it, did you have any goals? Did you know you were going to drag race it? What was the plan with it?
Now with this car, pretty much when I got the car, I knew nothing. I knew nothing about cars mechanically or tuning or whatever. So this was the car I really learned everything on. I just wanted the next best thing to an Evo, which was a GSR, and then I got this car, and then I just started looking up. I was always on the DSM tuners.
Mm-hmm.
I was always looking up on DSM tuners because I found out DSMs were the motor was similar to this. So I kept looking at what the DSM guys do, and I just sort of followed their upgrade path.
I love that. So over the years, to get to where you are now, when you broke into the 9s for the first time, what was the setup on the car? Because I'm sure there's probably people out there listening who just want to run a 9-second pass. So tell us a little bit about the setup and around what year that first 9-second pass was.
Oh man, I think it would have been maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And the setup on the car I had a 6870 turbo on it, on 45 pound.
Wow.
And obviously because one of the problems I had with the car was I kept breaking stuff when I was manual. When I went past that 30, 35 pound mark, when I was running a HX40, I kept breaking the manuals, and I've been through a lot of manuals, and then one of my mates come across a GSR as well that was really quick, and it had an auto, and he told me, a few of my other mates said, you should go auto, and I just looked at them and laughed, and I was like, man, I'll never go auto. That's lame. Some people think it's lame, and that's what my mentality was at the time.
Right.
And as soon as I went for a ride and my mate won, it just fucking changed my perspective. I was like, nah, I need to try this. At the time, I couldn't afford PPG. I was still like sort of on a budget. I couldn't afford PPG, and autos, they come out of the RVRs. They're like a minivan here.
Mm-hmm.
Autos were everywhere. People were just throwing away at the dump. So I thought, I'm going to give this a go. So I just cracked into it. Don't know how to build any auto or anything. Just dived in deep and just started learning, really.
I love that. And you're running the Tau Performance shift kit now, right?
Yeah, I've got some pieces of the kit in my valve body.
Love that. This episode of the MitsuTimes podcast is brought to you by Angry Arrow. Check out Angry Arrow's line of products for the DSM and Evo platforms. All Angry Arrow products use your choice of real gloss 2x2 twill carbon fiber or carbon fiber vinyl wrap. Angry Arrow products are designed to help reduce drag and rolling resistance on your DSM or Evo. The more aerodynamically stable your car is, the faster drag times will be at the track. Angry Arrow bumper shutters can increase trap speeds and stability in the quarter mile and have been tested to withstand speeds above 213 miles per hour. They are also great for daily driving use and can be kept on the car all year round. These shutters can withstand all weather conditions, sun, snow, and rain. Check them out on Facebook at Angry Arrow. So when this thing broke into the 8s for the first time, was that the high 8-second pass that you have now?
Yeah, so it was really the same turbo. I just wound it up a bit more.
Gotcha.
And like I said, I don't have a cage or anything, so it's like a all or nothing type of go. So I went and I had it on 50 pound, 54 pound. And it launched, and it done like a 1.5 60 foot, and it just carried on. And it ran the 8.9, and I didn't realize I had let off right before the beams, just because I'm not accustomed to drag racing. We do a lot of roll racing here.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize where the end was, and I braked right before the end, and it ran at 8.9, and I was just over the moon.
I was going to say your mile per hour is a little bit down compared to everyone else around you on the list. So you must have let off.
That's yeah, I let off, and obviously the auto does zap a bit of power.
Yeah. Well, if you could go back in time and do this build on this GSR again, and get it to where it is now, do you think you would still do everything the same? Would you go to an auto sooner? Is there anything that you would do different?
Man, if I had the knowledge now, I wouldn't fluff around with the small stuff. I'll just go straight big. But then, in saying that, back then they didn't have the technology that we have now with all the turbos and shit.
Right.
But definitely back then I would go auto straight away, and obviously if I had the tuning knowledge that I have now, I reckon the car would do really well back then.
What ECU are you on?
I'm just running a Link G4X. I used to run ECM Link when I had first started. Like I said, I always follow the DSM guys, and I used to watch videos on YouTube. Now, I don't know if you know that Scott Laird. He used to do some
Yeah.
ECM Link videos. I used to follow his tutorials, and I messaged him, and he was real great help. He gave me a lot of tuning chips, and
That's awesome.
I usually message the guys, Jake Montgomery, Aaron Gregory, or all the DSM gurus. I just shoot them a PM. Kevin Jewell. I shoot them a PM and I just ask them random questions. And the great thing about the DSM community is everyone just tells you what's up. They just, whatever knowledge they have, they let you know. Whereas here, you try to ask some people and it's all secret squirrels.
Everybody wants everybody to go fast in the DSM community. I think that's one reason I can't get away from it.
Yeah, that's good.
So what is it about this car that just makes you keep going and keep pushing it? And what is it about this car that motivates you to keep going?
No, it's just competition. You see over here, we got a lot of fast Evos in Sydney, and they got crazy builds. And I'm just trying to stay relevant and just go fast myself and keep up with the times, really. And like I said, I do a lot of roll racing in the car, and it would be an absolute dream if I could come first one time. But we're competing against 1800 horsepower GDRs, which is hard to beat, but it's not impossible. So got to keep trying, and you got to make the car faster and consistent. And obviously, I just started my business as well. It's called Backyard 4G, and when I had first started, I was just a forklift driver, nothing crazy. And then I just started doing cars as a hobby. And before I knew it, the car side just started taking off. And then I had to quit my job and start doing cars full time. And I'm lucky enough to have all my mates to practice my tuning, trial and errors, practice my transmission builds. And now I've got a bit of knowledge, and I'm getting heaps of people coming on board, and they're wanting me to do their cars. So it's pretty good for me.
That's awesome, man. I love to hear that. So what are your goals in 2025 with this car?
Oh, man, I just want to go out and race and just do well. That's it. I just want to go out, and if I could run a low 8, that would be awesome. If I could run a high 7, that would be freaking the cream of the crop. But
absolutely,
baby steps, baby steps.
Yeah, for sure.
And one thing, my car is still street driven because I still run coolant, still factory water pump. So
wow.
In the grand scheme of things, the car is basic for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things to learn and continue.
A 7 would put you up in the top 3 of everyone that's ever drag raced that chassis.
Yeah, and the CSM. Yeah, I've been watching that, and if I could at least get a mid to low 8, that would be a good starting point. And then obviously I'll have to get full caged and parachute, but I don't think it's impossible with how things are going, and the car's been rapidly getting quicker and quicker. And I do a lot of draggy as well. I try to get the draggy times pretty quick.
Yeah.
And it's good to compare against people all over the world just to see how you go.
For sure. And the draggy is very handy.
Yeah.
So I usually give people, I'm kind of starting this year, is there anybody that you want to call out for this season? Anybody that you want to, make it a goal by the end of the race season? Do you want to beat them on the list?
On which list? On the CSM list?
Yeah.
There's no one in particular on that list that I'm gunning for. I'm just gunning for a better time for myself, really.
I got you. Okay. Are there any events that are on your, radar that you plan to attend this race season?
Yeah, we got an event coming up in a few weeks. It's called All Evo Day, and it's really in Australia. There's we have an event called All Evo Day, and they do roll racing and all that. And last year, one of my cars took it up for the roll racing.
Wow!
So now the heat is on for this year for Backyard 4G to try take it out again, but we've got some strong competition coming from New South Wales, so it should be interesting.
Everybody's going to be gunning for you now.
Yeah, for sure. And and if you got good, healthy competition, it just makes the cars go faster, right?
Right, for sure. So where can people find and follow you on social media? And go ahead and tell us where to find and follow Backyard 4G so we can keep an eye on some of your other customer cars.
Yeah, right. So on Facebook, I've got a business page, Backyard 4G. That's where I post like businessy type of stuff that looks all good and pretty. And then we've got another page where I sort of do the Mexico rips. There's another Backyard 4G page where we do the Mexico rips. And then on Instagram, it's just Backyard 4G. TikTok is Backyard 4G as well. My personal page is just Jman Jeremy.
Perfect. Well, at the end, I always give people a chance to give a thanks or a shout out to anybody who's helped them get where they are, get their car where it is. Is there anybody that you want to give a thanks or a shout out to?
Oh, just thanks to my missus. Without a good partner and the backing, you won't be able to do what you love. So she always supports me and she never questions anything I do. So I'm happy about that. And definitely all my mates, when I was up and coming, learning how to tune, they let me practice on their cars. And I would have not gained the troubleshooting or whatever knowledge that I've got now without my mates. And I've got a good community and I really appreciate it. All I want is just for me and my mates just to go out and have fun, really.
That's awesome. Well, I wish you the best of luck, and I can't wait to see an updated time slip from you.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the MitsuTimes podcast. Check out our Instagram and Facebook for daily updates. Get added to our list by going to MitsuTimes.org and clicking Submit a Slip. Thank you to all of our sponsors.